Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I hope you are having a fabulous day. So today we have a new cross-stitch kit from Vipcrossstitch, and this is made by Spring, and Vipcrossstitch sells it. So yes, off the bat it says 100% cotton. So yes. This cross stitch is $15.89, and it's kind of an interesting one. I haven't done one like this before. It is a pillow, so that is very cool. Now I chose the green one, of course, but they have beige, yellow, green, and kind of an olive green. Of course, this is what the green looks like. So let's take a look at the pillow first. Very nice heavy quality, and it has a zipper so you can take a pillow in or out of it. Now it does not come with the pillow, you'll have to buy that separately. That is, it actually feels very nice. So yes, that would be fun. I just need to learn how we attach everything, so I think this is going to be really a cool project. So let's check out the rest of the pattern. So this packaging on this kit is pretty heavy duty. If you like the folders at Snap, this would be a great one to save for later, for putting papers in or whatever you have. So first off, I'm going to pull the paperwork out. I went ahead and pull everything out so we don't have to struggle with that. So first off, here is the front page, and it has our paper pattern inside of it, which is really, so it's not a huge pattern. This is going to take one of those ones that's going to take you just a couple of days to complete, depending on how much time you put into it. But it is super, super cute. Love the design with the little birds and the birdhouse. So let's look. This has 18 colors, and it also has some French knots and some back stitches, which is pretty cool, because I really like doing the French knots and the back stitches. And if you need help with those, let me know. I do have a video on French knots, but nothing on back stitches yet. I figured we would do a project together to do that. This says it's got 5 stars. A 5-star review, and these are, it gives you directions how to attach the snaps that go on your pillow, which is really cool. That is in Chinese on this page, but hopefully it's in English on this one. So this gives you the instruction manual, gives you the basic stitch instructions, how to match your numbers from the pattern onto the fabric. I think this is Aida fabric. I'm not sure. We'll have to look. I think it's a 14 Aida. There are also labels on the stitch that X for a half stitch, and the quarter stitch is 4X, and the backing of stitch of the marked all the fabric well. Please stitch according to requirements strictly, and comment. So it'll tell you exactly where to back stitch. Usually after you've completed the project, then you do the back stitch and the French knots in that order. So it goes on to tell you how to divide up your strands from your floss. The color pattern does not equal the real color of the floss. Please be sure to use the number or symbol from the printed pattern to find your corresponding floss and colors, if you see that. So I'm not sure. And then it goes on. Please stitch the same direction. Do not pull the thread tautly. Keep even tension. That way you don't get puckering or you don't get super loose stitches, which in your end result is not going to be that pretty. make sure each of the end of the thread is secured by first stitches in the back of the fabric. But I have a video that shows you how to do all that, just for reference. Of course, keep your hands clean before stitching, and do not get the fabric wet until you are completely finished, or the fabric or the pattern stamped onto your aida will disappear, and then you'll be forced to do it as a counted cross stitch. I like doing stamp cross stitches, so it doesn't matter to me either way, but some of you may not, and just make sure not to do that. And on the back, it's the same thing. So it's two-sided, but it's the same thing on either side. So let's check out this aida fabric. If I can figure out how to get in it. I'm going to put this here because it keeps trying to fall off my table. Okay, so here is the aida fabric that is printed with your pattern. It does need to be unfolded a little bit, but that's okay. As you work it, that'll work itself out. It does have your usual symbols and numbers on the bottom for your indicator, so if you're not working with the paper pattern, you can easily just access it right here on the actual fabric. Now this fabric has some really pretty lace around it. I really like this. Kind of reminds me of the little doilies my grandmother used to make, which is cool because I like those. So that being said, it is stitched on the free edge because of that lace on the sides, so you won't have to really worry too much about it fraying while you're working it, or later after you've made it. It is nice quality. It is a little stiff, but as you work it, that stiffness will come out. So there are 0 to 133 stitches across, and 0 to 133 stitches down, vertical. So it's going to be pretty much a square. So I like that. Now, as for the stamping itself, it is pretty easy to read. The colors are perfect, so you can tell them apart fairly easy, because some stitches have colors that are patterns that are just alike, and it's really hard to tell which color symbol is what. So, but this is really easy. It's pretty much laid out for you. So that is pretty cool. The stamping is very well centered into the actual sewing squares of your cross stitch, which I really like, and they're very, very easy to read. Even if this is an 11 count, the stamping is so well defined that it won't be any trouble to figure out what stitch is which. So that is really cool. I like this. This is a beige color and not a white, which I am okay with. And then we have our threads. Of course, we have the standard 2 needles. I do not see a needle threader or a thimble, but that's okay. You can pick those up anywhere, including on the VIP website, and they have some really pretty ones, and they are good quality. So here are all the colors that are going to be in our cross stitch, and I want to look and see. The colors match pretty well with what's in the picture. We will see when we do the final stitching, but the colors are pretty right on. So I'm glad about that. If you can see, all those colors are very, very close to what's in my color palette. So that is a good thing. So you're going to wind up with something very, very similar to the original. Now, this fabric is supposed to be cotton, and it does look like good quality. I do not see any starts and stops where the thread was done in production, so that's a good thing. If you do happen to find one of those knots, production knots, just cut it out and use the rest of the thread that you cut it away from. That's no big deal. One of these days I'm going to find one of those knots and I'll show you how to take care of them. So the other thing that I don't see that was included is the snaps that the directions say to use to attach this to the main pillow area, but you can buy those probably anywhere, any kind of sewing store, any kind of wherever. This says to use clear ones, but you can actually sew this straight onto the pillow and just say to heck with the snaps if you so want to do that. I may do that just for my own personal preference. But this is our kit, and it is going to be so super cute in my opinion. So if you want to check this out, I will leave a link in the description box along with my discount code so you can save some coins on this cross stitch or any other cross stitch or any product that is on their website. This cross stitch again is $15.89, which is a deal because I couldn't buy all this stuff to make a cross stitch for less than that. So I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one, which may or may not be a cross stitch, but may be a nail video, so we will see how that goes. Thank you. Bye-bye.